Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Hello there. Hello, chat. Hello, chat. Hello, chat. How are we doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Just give me a moment while I get this game booted up. I'm going to get the capture swapped. And we will be playing Iron Nest today. It's a simulation game about using a giant fucking cannon. So, yeah. Right, I'm going to exit duck game. Just waiting for duck game to exit. There we go. Alrighty. Make sure everything on here is good. I think so. Alright, chat. How's everyone doing tonight? Because I'm doing pretty good. Alright, we are going to go ahead and get loaded in here. I did already play the calibration fire, so I could learn the game a little bit. But I think I have it figured out. We will find out. Hopefully I don't bomb any innocent hospitals. We're going to make an espresso. Alright, how do I make an espresso? Alright, we're going to select the roast. Okay. Step 2. I gotta place my cup. Alright, I place the cup. Step 3, balance heat and pressure throughout brewing. Right. Oh, why does it feel so low quality? Let me see. Because I'm pretty sure I have it set to max graphics, so I'm not too sure. Oh. See, that just makes everything look really blurry, though. Which I am not a fan of. I will turn off motion blur, because no one wants motion blur. If you want motion blur, then you're weird. Let's see. I don't know why it looks like that. Just reset everything really quickly. Oh, wait, is that literally why? Like, I want everything at ultra, you know? Because, I mean, my PC can handle it. Only thing I don't really want is motion blur. That's a bit better, I guess. I'll figure it out later. No. Stop. Alright. No. Now, I just realized I don't think... No. Alright, I give up on making coffee. We'll just do today's work without any coffee, I guess, you know. Where's Mr. Kitty? I know there's a cat somewhere around here. Where is it? Mr. Kitty. There you go. I assume these are all the backers and stuff there. Alright, let's go up and kill some people. Alrighty. Alright, HE only. I'm at that location. You two are there. And let me make sure I got the right ones. Alright, so first, we need to find where I am at. So I am at H3 5-5. So yep, right there. And now we need to find spotter 1, which is at M9. M932. So right there. Alright. And now we need to find P209. Am I just blind? There it is. P209. So you are up there. Okay. Now we need to figure out the bearing. So, let's see. So, from spotter 1. Let me start with spotter 1 first. So, spotter 1 is up here. At 93. I want to try to get it perfect, basically, but, you know, sometimes you can't do that. We'll go right there. Alright. And where's my second spotter? Right. 37 degrees from spotter 2. So 37... Alright. So if I am correct, the hostiles should be right here. I think. It'd be great if I could actually see. So they should be right there-ish. So how far away is that from me? We will find out. 5.5. If we're going right here, and that is 13.12 kilometers from me. Alright, time to find out if I am right or if I am fucking this up. Thirteen 13.12. Alright. And let's see, for that distance, we'll go with 3 powder charges, I think. Alright. We'll save these. Alright, they said HE only, so... Go ahead and get that bad boy loaded. 3. Get those loaded. Very nice, very nice. Now we gotta wait for you. Alright. Now then, 13. Oh wait, no, 52 degrees. So like right up here somewhere, I believe. Got my little console right there. Oh, it's pretty close. 52.48. There we go. Alright, that's in place now. And now we gotta find the bearing, which is 65 degrees. Do I need to go this way? Yes. Took me a minute to figure out how to figure out the bearing, because I wasn't sure if I needed to like do like north or like anything like that, but now you just gotta figure out the bearing of it. So I think everything is set up correctly. Right? 52 degrees, 48 HE. Alright, so we should be good to go. Alright. Get that set up. The gun is armed. Let me over here. So hopefully I did that correctly. We will find out very shortly if I did that correctly or not. If not, then, you know, some hospital will get blown up or something, I'm sure. Very nice. Alrighty, let's go read orders from High Command. 2 additional hostile elements have been identified. Alright, so we took out decent little city block right there. We got another civilian riot over here, so we will target. Let me grab a new bearing really quickly. We'll go like kind of in the middle, like right here. Right there. There we go. I can get rid of these for now. I think it'll be fine if I get rid of these. So we'll go like right in the middle, right about there. Alright. We'll go keep that the same. Now it's 1301 kilometers. 5204. What? Oh yeah, I gotta load the gun first. Still HE, I assume. Alrighty. Sorry about that. I'm gonna let it do this really quickly, because then I can just change it. While that's going on, I will 67.9, so 9, and then 5204, so we gotta reduce that a little bit. Alright, 5204. Alright, let me double check one more thing. I think we should be fine to go, though. The gun has been armed, and we will fire. Pretty sure I calculated that correctly. We'll see. We shall see. Nice. Alright, I'll get rid of that. And let's just see the carnage that I've created. Nope. Took out both targets in a couple of homes, it looks like. I'll get rid of that. Alright. What's new, High Command? What have you got for me? Changed. Let me go and change that really quickly, because I believe I changed that to a different button. Because I don't want it to be caps lock. I think I changed it to V last time. V. Apply. Alright. Below, a ground observer will mark the corrections directly on impact con. Alright. Okay. So, I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this, this, and this, and this, and this. And that. And that. Alright. So. Oh wait, it's still the same spotters, isn't it? Yeah, so let me keep this. And then take this. Nice. Alright, so first, we will figure out the thing. I think I still have... Yeah, I still have these two. Alright, it's from spotter 1, it's 254 degrees. $254. Alright. Go there. Alright. And then from spotter 2. Oh, distance from spotter 1. Oh, I see. Okay. I misread. So, spotter 1. 254, distance is 4 kilometers. So, let's go back a little bit. 4.87. 87 and 254. All right, so should be right there. So I can get rid of that one. 254, 4.87. Yep. Alright. And for me, that is right there at 6.9. Someone else remember that for me, please. Nope, didn't mean to hit that. Alright, so for me it is 4 kilometers. .38. Oh, perfect. Alright, and let's see, how many should I need? 4. We'll go with 2. Right, so they said, let me check the ordinance that they told me. Star shells, okay. So I need to do I need to go right about here-ish, probably. So, and then rotate myself. We'll go that way. We'll spin around for a little bit. .26 26.28. There we go. Alright. I need to go more in this direction, clearly. One. Alright. Alright. I do believe everything should be set up properly. We're gonna arm the gun. And we will fire. No. Let me watch. I believe I did this right. Okay. So, yellow numbers, distance from the impact point to target. Yellow arrows, direction. The impact to the point. Alrighty, so. I don't see where they need it, because isn't that like directly? So they need it this direction, I guess. That's what I'm understanding. It looks like they need it to go this direction, I guess. Let me read this over here. Okay. Adjust and repeat until high command confirms. Yellow numbers. Coordinates below. Group. On corrections directly on. Impact recon photos. Adjust and repeat. Fire tool high command. So, do they need me, like... The only thing I'm not understanding... So, they need the distance to be this number, right? What was it? Let me see. 333. And with that, we'll still do 2, I think. Alright. Okay. So then, I need to move this direction, I assume. $278. If I don't even know if I'm understanding that correctly or not, but we'll find out. We'll go ahead and get the next shell loaded. And we will go from there. Oh yeah, I need to do this. And while that's loading, we will go ahead and rotate this way. Oh, that's so fun. Alright. 278. We need to go a little bit further this way. Alright. 278.2. Alright, there we go. Change this to 19.83. $19.83. All right, and we should be good to go. Arm the gun. And fire. Oh. Well, that's not correct at all. Oh, I see. So, okay, I made a mistake. I didn't calculate that distance. I see. So, it needs to go in this direct. Okay, I see where I made a mistake. So, okay, I can get rid of all these. So, you can go away now. I see. So, it's somewhere this direction, it would seem, that I need to fire. So we will go here. Right about there. Alright, let me do that. And this is the last star shell I have, so hopefully this is right. I don't think this is correct, but we'll find out, chat. 320.1. Alright. Go ahead and do all that. So I need to be 38.94. A little bit more. .94. All right, that's good. I think I should be good to fire this time. There we go. Yeah, so I made a mistake last time. I wasn't paying attention to this orientation. I think I should have done it like right here, but you know, we'll find out. I think we'll be fine though. Unless, oh, okay, I see. So, oh, okay. Okay, I see. Is that the target? What does that mean? I assume that's the target that I want, yeah. I see, so yeah, I was making a fucking mistake. Okay, so it's 4.35 kilometers from here. Technically speaking, that would be, oh, that'd be right about there. And then this one, genuinely the only reason I am doing this is to practice. This one's 3.33 kilometers. It should be right there. And this one is 0.96 kilometers. Should be there. Okay. Okay. I understand now. I see where I've been making my mistake. I'm at position 5.5. They want the target right there. Alright. So, 582. 582, we'll go with 2 powder charges. That works for me. Nope, didn't mean to do that. Right, and now I need to be 326. .5. There we go. Alright. I think I feel safe enough to go ahead and arm the gun. Oh. I see. Oh, I need very strange design, but you know, won't really question it. Alright, so I need to change this to 34. Nope. Yeah, I was going the right way. 34. Get that to 34. 34.92. Nope. 0.92. Alright. And I do believe that should be the sweet spot where High Command wants its stuff fired. Boy, stand down till further notice. Okay. Put that stuff away. I just want to see all the buttons that I can push in this game really quickly before I continue on to the next little segment. What did that do? How do I reopen this little window right here? I want to see what that's doing. Nope. I have some cookies. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. Oh. A new record. Let's hear how this one sounds. Mr. Kitty. Alright. We'll sleep till the next day. Last seen intact before Tuesday. Reward offered for usable bricks. Oops. Some reassembly required. That's fun. Oh, that's really fun. That's really fun. Okay. And see how the battlefield developed. Alright. Anti... Is it moving? That's fun. Alright, before I read any of that, I want to go see what this button does. Oh, that's literally all it does. It just lowers the blind. Okay. That's lame. Oh. I see. Alright. So this is where I'm at. 2 and 3. It doesn't say I need to use discretion. Alright. I am at I6. I6, 5, 3. This is where I'm at. My spotters, I think I will use these for my spotters. Yeah. Are at H. My first spotter is at H9. So where is H? H9. H9 at 2.5. So you are right there. Spotter 1 is right here. Spotter 2 is at K7 at 7.8. And spotter 3 is at D2 at 5-4. Yep, right there. Alright. Now, Now for the fun bits. Infantry, so we'll... I guess it's printed like that. Okay. Well, here, let me do this really quickly. That way. So, Infantry 1. Infantry 2. Infantry 3. Infantry 4. Intelligence incomplete. Leave active in friendly urban sectors. So we'll ignore entrance infantry. We'll ignore these two for now. We'll just focus on the 3 that we can get a hold of. Alright. Well, we will do that. And do this. Ah, I see. Am I authorized to use the right magazine? I am. Okay. Cool. 2, 3, and 4. And then for the left, we'll do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and alrighty. And now for the powder charges. I don't know if it matters, but yeah, okay. We'll just buy like 2 of them, I guess. Alright. And you know what? This is more so like kind of what... Oh, I see. Okay, so I will save that for now then. For when I get to infantry. That I cannot see. Oh. Alright, cool. So. Time to figure out some stuff. So we're going to start with Infantry 1. Infantry 1 is 220 degrees from Spotter 1. 220, 220, and I would rather... So we'll go right there. 251 degrees from Spotter 2. Or Spotter 2. So somewhere within this area. 250. $250, $251, okay. So like right about there. And how far away are you from me? So it should be right about there. All right. Right. Yeah, okay, just making sure I did all that right. Alright. See, I can get rid of these two. I only need the bottom one, right? 259. This is the only one that matters for me. 259, 4.80 kilometers. .80, and we will go with We'll just go with 2. Okay. Let's see, I'm using HE. Oh, I see. Okay. HE. Alright. What's that smaller text say? I can't. Does it just also say bearing to target? Ah, it's more fine-tuned. Okay. Alright. 259. $59. 0.5, okay. And then this, what is this one? I see, okay. So I think it's just infantry, so we'll just use that for now. Don't need to get too into the weeds with it. Alright. Ah, that's very useful, actually. Okay. That will be nice. Alright. Get these loaded up. While that's doing that, 259. Start getting that rotated. And then about there probably for that. Alright. $259.5. There we go. Alright. We'll set this to 28.80. 8.80. There we go. Alright, that's all set. And you know what? We will actually go ahead and get this one guy loaded over here. Because we will be using it for the second firing mission. That way all I have to do with this guy is get the elevation set, and I don't need to wait to load it or anything. Technically speaking, I could go ahead and do that now. Yeah, why not? I've got time. Alright. Keep that up here. Alright, Infantry 2 is bearing 280 from spotter number 2. Where's number 2 at? Bearing 280. Alright. 280. And from spotter number 3 is 344, so. Alright. So, right. Literally right there. I feel like I'm safe to get rid of all of these, because the only one... Alright, let's go ahead and fire the gun before I make a mistake. Right, while that's going on, we will see... Right there. Oh, oops. You know, casualties, you know, man. Sometimes things will happen that are very unfortunate. And that's why life should not be taken for granted. Alright, so we'll get rid of these marks for now. I will, however, adjust. And we'll fire right there. You know what? I'll just get rid of this one for now, because that one will matter later. Alright. Get these loaded up. And we are about to... $258. $258.5. $4.36. Is this the new one? I don't know. Here's what we'll do. There we go. Alright, 26.16. Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I thought this one would go up to the one that's already ready. Alright, so 26.16. $26.16. Alright. Now then, let's see. Right, we'll go ahead and arm this gun. I'm not going to arm the other one yet because it's not necessary. 0.58.5. All right. This time I shouldn't kill any civilians. You know, that's a little bit of a war crime, though. Damn. Yeah, I know where they're at. I was trying to avoid hitting civilians, though. But, you know what? Let's go right on target. Maybe, actually, here's what we'll do. So, we will go, like, right there. That should hit them. So, 257. 4.50. Let me go ahead and get rid of that just in case. 4.57. There we go. Give me the new thing. 27.42. Alright, that's done. 27.42. and 257. Alright, so what I will do is just this. 257.5. And hopefully, I don't hit any civilians. It's a little bit of war crimes, though, you know? It's just a little oopsie. Hey, hello. Hey, how are you doing, Ben? Oh. I accidentally just took out a civilian hospital, I'm pretty sure. This game called Iron Nest. Here, I'll do that for you. I probably did, but you know, it was worth killing the enemies that were there. You know, I'm trying to get minimal civilian casualties, but you know, maybe they shouldn't be in a war zone, you know? It's not my fault. It's not my fucking fault that they're in the middle of a fucking war zone. Like what do they expect? Jesus. So 7.69. We're still under 10 kilometers, so I will only do 2. And then bearing 294.0. .0 HE. We'll just go with that. All right. Let me get both my guns loaded really quickly. Alright, so first we will get my bearings set up at 294. Which honestly, I think see, it's tickling a part of my brain, and it is really enjoyable. Hold on. It's a big number. 128. Jesus Christ, what for? Why do you need diamond rank chess? You don't need that. So probably right about there. You do not, you don't need it. 16, 14. There we go. Alright. I think I am... Dude, listen to the fucking sound of this horn. Are you tuned in? It's so fucking cool. Like that is some like the I do kind of like I could have just done my graphic settings wrong. It is entirely possible, but that is the one thing that I do kind of wish. Oh, okay. Alrighty. Nice. That is another problem taken care of. Alright. Get rid of that. Infantry 2 is dealt with. Let's go see what they say. Ceasefire, ceasefire. Alright. Conduct a recon. AP ordnance. Okay. Forward. Okay. Here's what we will do. We'll go ahead and buy... We'll buy one for each magazine. I should have enough. Alright. And then, so it said... Because I'll have this, go ahead and get this conducted. Over P4. Over grid P4. Welcome back. Oh, P4 over the bearing. Are they in your... Get out of my house. And over grid P4. Okay. We'll just go ahead and send for that. Oh, I see. Alright, so I'll take care of that momentarily. First, I want to finish... We're just going to ignore the civilian casualties that incurred over here. Alright, Infantry 3 is 5.96 kilometers from Spotter 1. Okay. Do I not get a bearing? Okay. I see. So I have to assume 5.97. I'll have to figure it out like this. And they are 5.90 from Spotter 3. The only issue I'm seeing is that there is nothing in this area from the photos that I've gotten. So 5.97. Let's see. Of course, I could also, you know what, let me use some star shells. Do I have any star shells available? Or do I have to buy some? Alright, so I'm going to buy 2 for each gun, I guess. Alright. Bro is hunting the stronghold, chat. Can we believe this, chat? So first, we will conduct 5.90, 5.97. Get rid of this first number, because this is the one that matters. So first, we will conduct a thingy over here. and just take a look, because I'm already facing this direction. It's like, why would I not just take a look over here? I can go ahead and get this AP shell loaded though. Oh wait, no I can't. I have, okay. No, I can still use that. That's fine. So let's see. My distance from over here is here. So I can get rid of these numbers now. 286.9 is the bearing. .9, and then this is star and 5.42. Nope, need to go this way. How's your day been, man? Oh, yeah. Same here. It's been a pretty good day. I think I'm going to be getting a promotion at work, which is pretty exciting. Alright, I need to bring you down, actually, to about here. .52. Fair. I'm going to go ahead and get the gun armed, and I need to be bearing 286. Nope, I need to go up. No, I do need to go down, actually. I lied. Alright, and now I need 6. Yeah. 286.9. Alright. Alright, I think I am ready to fire. That would make them so OP, dude. Aha! There they are. I've discovered my targets. Oh well, they will be no more very shortly. There won't be targets very shortly there. So we'll go in the middle and try to hit both of them. Very soon there will not be targets there, hopefully. I already completed that, so I can get rid of this for now. Alright, so 284.1 degrees. I don't need to go, I need to go down 284.1. Go back up, HE, and 7 kilometers. 7.11. Yep. Alright. Grab that. And I've already got that done, so... Oh, hey. Hey, what's up, man? Let's see, so 284. .1, and the elevation needs to be 42.66. That is something I need to pay attention to, is the elevation. Because I almost went over and fired the gun. 42. .66. All right. Hopefully I don't, like, destroy a hospital or something. Hopefully I don't destroy a hospital or something, but let's take a look. We'll find out very shortly. I mean, it doesn't, you know, from my last recon over here, it didn't say there were any civilians around here, so. Alright, I need to adjust for true. And we're just going to drop the bomb directly on top of them. But infantry... We'll use AP. I should have one AP shell here, yeah. I'm going to use armor-piercing rounds, because it's... The only reason I say I'm using AP is because of the minimal blast radius, so... Yeah, hopefully I don't drone strike the fucking children's hospital, man. Man. 285. We get that fixed. 285, 6.88. And we are using AP, so I need to go all the way up. What? AP, here we go. $41. .28 is the elevation. Bro. 41.28 and 285, so this should be directly on top of the enemy right here. Pretty sure I used AP, so hopefully. Alright, that's another target taken care of. Alright. Now then. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get this set up, as I am about to brutalize this ammo depot. So I am 7.66 kilometers. We are bearing 109. $106. What is what? So 45.96. $96. Perfect. Alright, fire mission confirmed, shell type confirmed. 45.96. The bearing is confirmed and elevation is confirmed. Let me fix that. I need to be bearing... Yeah, so we need to go that direction. Let me go see. So does this guy move on the map? Oh, he does. That's fun. What the fuck is Snout Industries? It's possible. Oh shit. I was not paying attention to that. So, 106.9. The Eagle. Alright. You should be clear to fire. Goodbye. He's just having a good time, man. That should be a direct hit right there. Perfect. 75 requisition. Holy moly. Sector cleared. Local garrison will consolidate from stand down until... What about, I don't want to stand down yet. I still have in friendly urban sectors. I'm not standing down just yet, guys. I'm sorry, but... Alright. Intelligence incomplete. So, friendly urban sectors. What does Fortify do? That's kind of crazy, actually. Alright, so... We'll go with B5 because it's kind of in the middle, so it should hopefully... Well... No, shut up! We'll go down to B3. B3. I don't mind sending out another plane. Really? Nothing over there. Interesting. Okay. Said friendly urban zone, so perchance it is over here in R1 then. Why? What did I do to you? Perchance. I don't have a lot of money left, but, you know, fuck it, we ball. Damn. Alright. You know what? I think it's best to call it for now. And we just will not. We won't. Alright. Let's go. Let's go ahead and go downstairs. Well, I mean, I already bombed a school, so... It might happen a second time. Oh, I can customize the cat? Hell yeah. Turn him into a kitten? Fuck yeah, dude. Here, we'll give him a little red hat. Make his eyes... I'll make him red. Evil. Evil cat. Evil cat that murders people. As the... Can make his head round. Make his ears round. His ears will be pointy and round. He's got big old bat ears. That's a pretty color. We'll go with that. Yeah, why not? God damn. Hello, Kitty. Mr. Kitty. Alright. We'll continue on to the next day now. Restored. Royal train arrives backwards. The general encourages you to be remembered as a hero. Oh, I got a couple of medals too. I like this little thing at the end where I can see, like, I love taking damage to take less damage. Chill. Enemy forces have been caught mid-resupply and exposed position. Or counter battery. Enemy forces have deployed artillery across the river in response to recent anticipated. Iron Nest has been cleared for active engagement under direct fire conditions for the first time. Oh wait, does this mean I'll have to move it during the during it? That will be fun. Let's try that out. Store master power to on before proceeding. Enemy forces have deployed artillery across the river in response to... This was anticipation. To reason it. Prioritize elimination of all identified artillery assets. Destroy what remains. Counter battery timer will commence once first shell lands. Will I be able to move the Iron Nest? That's the only thing I wonder. It'd be cool, really cool if I can move it. It says, glory. Yeah, it says glory to Castile. I think I'll go for artillery number 3 first, because that will be the hardest one to figure out. What I will do, however, in preparation, is go ahead and mark all the artillery that is, there. Alright. How much ammo do I have? I have 2 HE and 2 star over here. I have an HE, 1 star. Okay, so how much? I have 500 requisition points as well. Let me check my powder charges. Oh, hello. Dear Ironess, while advancing, I fell into one of your footprints outside. I twisted my ankle. I was trying to shell landed where my squad. I am now only one left. I still hear them. I don't know if I'll ever stop hearing them. Everyone keeps telling me I was lucky. My mother would have said it wasn't luck. She would have said God put that hole there to save me. But God didn't put that hole there. You did, Thomas. So I probably killed this man's unit, and he's thanking me. It's the horn. It's the horn of the Iron Nest. Alright, so let's see. I am at I6. I6 5-3. I would recommend turning my game down. It is quite loud. I6 5-. This is where I'm at. Okay. And our enemies are across the river, from what I can tell. Alright, let me... Okay. What did I do? Ah, I see. I don't know why that was there twice. Alright, so... we are going to play this. Let me make sure that they don't want any first shell lands. Counter battery timer. See, it'd be really cool if I could actually move the Iron Nest. That would be a lot of fun, but it does not appear that I am able to do that. Interact. Oh, okay. So what are my options? I have HE, medium, AP, chance to spread. That could be kind of useful. We'll try it out. We'll throw one on the left and one on the right. Alright, and then I will do that. What do you mean you're gonna have to summon the Grim Reaper? So, oh yeah. So let's see, Spotter 1 is at R9. R9. 6.7. 6.7. 6.7. I'm sorry. I can get rid of that. Get rid of that. Spotter 2 is at K5. Let me go grab the number 2. Spotter 5. Spotter 2 is at K5. I know it's somewhere around here. K5. Here we go. K5 at 8.1. 8.1. Mark that. Can get rid of that now. And then spotter number 3 is at 06. 06. 06, not 06. Oh, no, wait. L106, so L. L106. Alright, there you are. Alrighty, now then, time to figure out bearing from spotter 1 is 188 degrees from spotter 1. So 188. And we'll just go all the way down here as well. There we go. Spotter 1, 123 degrees from spotter 2. So it's somewhere. Somewhere over here. We're in that direction. So we will use this to mark where the first artillery piece is at. So it should be somewhere right there. Hopefully. Alright. Now that I think about it, I do want to keep those bearings on there. Alright, there we go. I want to keep those bearings on there, so alright. Now then, let me make sure that's correct. Spotter 1 and spotter 3. Alright, cool. Alright. So then the next guy is bearing. And we'll use different colors for this next mark. So spotter 1 is 121. I gotta take my time on this mission, unfortunately. I can't just start launching massive fucking shells at people. It's 121, so I need to go down. There we go. Alright. And 51 degrees from spotter 3. Interesting. So these guys should be right here. Alright. So yeah, those guys should be right there. Then our distance from spotter 3. This is where I want to use the plane at. So from spotter 3, and I know for a fact they're across the river, so I'm going to assume they're somewhere up here. I can get rid of these bearings down here. I don't need the spotter's bearings, I just need my own. So, distance from spotter number 3 is 381. Oh wait, does this not have distance? Oh man, why don't you have distance? I'd prefer not to use red again, but you know. Alright, so 381. And I know they're across the river, so they're probably going to be somewhere in that direction. Sam, you should stream your game so I can watch. 381. Yeah. 7. .03, so we'll assume that they're down there somewhere. So what I'm going to do, let me pull your stream up. So we'll assume they're somewhere in the N4 area. Oh. And 4. Interesting. Okay. So they aren't there. I feel like I can get rid of these other two for now, though, because I feel pretty confident in my abilities there. Alright, so Spotter 3 is 381 kilometers. Or 3.81. You aren't there, so let's try 381 and over here. Okay, and then 7.3 kilometers. So we'll try P1 over here. Need to go. No, I need to go down. There we go. That was P1. Aha, here we are. This is an artillery position right here. And there are enemies there. Okay. So, let me just check something. So, 381. So that's about 381 right there. And then 7.03. Yep. All right. So that's my target right there for those guys. We're going to adjust this a little bit. All right. So I've already discovered all 3 artillery positions. I can get rid of. I feel confident I can get rid of all of these. Alrighty. This one I will actually leave for now. Actually, it'll be fine, I'm sure. Alright, so, now then, time for the fun part. So, we're gonna hit them right there. And then, we're gonna hit these guys next. And you know what? Just for fun, we're going to throw a slow artillery piece here. Oh, nice. You got into a game. Ghostface? Interesting choice, but okay. Go right there. Alrighty. Alright, so for the first target, I am 6.48 kilometers away. And we'll go with 2. Yeah, we'll go with 2. And bearing 115. 115. You know, the famous song from Call... Yeah, Call of Juarez. And you know what? You know what? I'll save my incendiary shell for the last one. Yeah, I think we'll save the incendiary shell for the last one. So we'll just use let me make sure I have HE over here. HE. HE. Moon Knight, $5 or whatever, yeah. Alright, so that 48, 115. Alright, that's the first firing mission right there. The next, so I can get rid of this one. 9.38. $9.38 at 121. $121.2. Alright. That's the next fire mission. Alright, and now for the final one. 11.31 kilometers. And this one will require 3. And this one I will be using incendiary rounds because I don't have an exact spot for it. However, I will load. There you are. At 78 degrees. $78.6. There we go. Alright. So, let's go ahead and get these incendiaries, or HEs, loaded up. So, I need 2 for the first one. 2. Or, well, 2 for the first 2. Let me get 115. Damn, I got pretty close. 8. Alright. And let's see, so we'll go ahead and get this first one calibrated, 38.88. And the second one needs to go up to 50, so we'll go right here. Because then I'll need to swap to 121.2. 38.88. and 50.21. And we're just going to go ahead and arm both guns. I don't... Oh, wait, actually, no, I need this gun unarmed so I can... That is something I just thought about. Nice. Alright, so this fire mission is complete, basically. 38.88. We're facing 115 degrees. We are 38.88. Make sure this gun is armed. Make sure this one is unarmed. Alright. Now I just gotta be faster than the enemy. Go ahead and fire the cannon, and we're going to start getting rotated to 121. .2. Alright. Alright. It's fine. Alright, we need to... The snow leopard killed my fucking wife. Come on, come on. 3. I need to set it to 45. Alright, no. I need to go ahead and do this. Like now. Oh shit. 78. No, I need to go down. 78.6. I don't know how much time I have. 78.6. 78.6, and then 45.24. 45.24. Alright. Alright, we're on fire and hope for the best. Oh shit. They moved? Fuck. Okay. .2. I need to move quick. 9.37. Need to swap this to 2. And 121. We're still good, we're still fine. I think I have plenty of time. 121. Alright, we'll get rid of all these, hopefully. Alright, perfect. That one's gone. 121. Do I have more? I do have another HE shell, so. Alright. Get you loaded. I really need you to move faster, please. Come on. Alright, I need to be facing 121 degrees. 21.2. 52, 56, 56, so right about here probably. Get all this set up. And we are going to go ahead and arm the gun. 156, 56.22. $56.22. 56.22. Alright. Hopefully that's correct. Please be correct. Okay. I think I got it. I should be fine after this. I don't know how much more, I don't know how long until artillery fires on me. Okay. Whew. I did it. Holy shit, that was stressful. That was stressing me. Destroy remaining elements and stand by. Alright. They don't have counter battery anymore, so they can't attack me anymore. Ooh, that was, that had me stressing there. Holy shit, dude. Let me tell you. Because I missed this first shot right here. I completely fucking missed that, even though they were definitely right there. Oh, no, wait, I just undershot it. Well, at least I didn't destroy any of my, my guys. You know, that's nice at least. Alright. I feel like I can do that. Because I don't need my spotters anymore. So, let's see. I think I will fire a incendiary shell, like, over here somewhere. I'll say, like, right about here. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so I can get a gauge for how the incendiary will spread via this guy right here. Like, kind of like that. So. That was almost really bad. See if I can fit both these guys in here. See if I can just get them on the edge. We'll just go right there. Yeah. So, 8.28 kilometers. .28 incendiary, 110 degrees. .4. Yep, right there. All right. Let's see, where's my incendiary shell? I believe it's on this rack. Or is it on the other one? I think it's on the other one. I don't know if I used the other one. Nope, it's right there. Alright, so I need to be facing 110 degrees, so I need to go down. I need your strongest potions, potion seller. You cannot handle my strongest potions. .68. Alrighty. I think we are ready for this fire mission. Literally. Get out of here. I feel like it kind of feels like this game was made for like virtual reality or something. Hopefully the fire will spread. It didn't get either of these two? I mean, okay. Let's see if I have something with a bigger blast radius. Yeah, I'll just use HE. 2, 3, 4, 5. What? 4, 5. Do I not have the space? I guess not. Huh. Okay. That's fine. What does this do? Oh, it's another horn. Okay. I really feel like that these guys should be dead right here. They're basically on the edge of the fire. Alright, what we will do is go from R1 up to there with a airplane. R1. Or at least I swear to God. Heidi ho. Alright, so we'll go there. You will go here. And you will go here. And you will go here. Alright, cool. Alright. Clear these up. 112. Or wait, no, 8.14. New phone, who dis? Hello there. I gave him a snow leopard, and it ate his wife. It's pretty fucking funny. Right. Alrighty, that fire mission will be complete. 7.90. Oh, I need to go this way. 7 point. 90. 90 at 89 degrees. Nope, I need to go down. Alright. Nine. 9.5. Alright. And now 9.7. 9.73. 90. That's probably not a good thing. All right. Yeah, you can. My fucking snow leopard. $48.84. 48. 84. This is done. 50.76. 50.76. All right. Alright, let's see the consequences of my actions here. Nice. Alright, now I can turn to 108. .8 50.76. Alright, this fire mission is ready. And we'll go ahead and get the next one ready. Uh-oh. That's that's no good. Ooh, that's really not good for me. Okay. I've got time. Can at least get rid of these fire missions for now. Alright. Seven. So play 81. .107.2. Alright, 7.81. Yep, alright, that's good. We'll go with that. Because these take priority right now. 46.86. 46.86. 46.86. Alright. This one's done. Alright, so 9.24 kilometers. .24 at 110. .7. Alright. I've already got that gun loaded. I need to get this one loaded. I am fucking stressing, dude. I do not want to be blown up by enemy artillery. Alright, so let's go ahead and get 107. Okay, cool. I'm not that far off already. 107, 107.2. 107.2 at 55. Come on. 55. No, wait, I need 46. Fuck. Okay. That's fine. 46. .86. 46.86. Alright. We should be ready to fire. 107.2, 46.86. Yep, alright. Alright, now we gotta rotate to 110.7. Fuck. 10.7 at 54. 55. That one should be done. 55.44. I just have to trust that I got it right. 55.44. Alright. 110.7, 55.44. I gotta trust that this is right. Come on. Alright, cool. That one did in fact hit, which is good. I just gotta hope and pray that this artillery piece has not moved. I don't know if they're capable of moving. I really hope not. That would really suck for me. Alright, whew. We're good. You know what? Just in case, I'm gonna go check. Because I don't want more. I don't want any more. So we'll go from N6 bearing 90, bearing 90. N6 bearing 90. N6, yep. N6. How much requisition do I have? I think. Alright, let's get my pictures. Okay. I think I will be good to get my stuff put in. Alright. Do I have any more HE? I do. Okay, perfect. Should only need 2 of these guys. And you know what? We'll go ahead and buy some more powder charges. I get 10 each from this, so... we'll buy 30 powder charges. And just refill my stock. Alrighty. So I need 46.40, or 47.40. .40 and 58.38. 58.38. And we need to be facing 89. Nope, need to go this way. 89.5. $89.5. Alright, now I need to be 90.6. Alright, and these 2 shots should absolutely decimate the enemies. we're done. Iron Nest is to stand down. Alright, you know what? I want to do something for fun. I'm going to I1. I just want to see. You don't actually see it. That's kind of lame. That is kind of lame that you don't actually see the iron nest. Like, I get this is what it looks like right here, but it would have been kind of cool to see it on the photograph. Oh well. Well. Mission complete. I would consider that an absolute success. Okay. Alright, we're gonna go see Mr. Kitty. Hello, Mr. Kitty. You know, I don't care if it's tactically unsound to have a giant walking naval gun. It looks fucking awesome. I don't give a shit. Have you seen that PIH is on Evil sale right now? Typically it only costs like $2, but it's like 1,000% upcharge right now. It's on Evil sale. Yeah. No. Not at all. Yeah. Alrighty. Iron Road. Oh my god. The Supply Corridor High Command intends to sever. Reinforcements by rail. Okay. Counter battery timer. Okay, so that's just a challenge mode right there, I guess. And then uncontested front. Enemy forces have been caught mid-resupply in an exposed position. No counter battery threat has been identified in the sector. High Command has authorized engagement. Or I do Iron Road. Vale de Mula sits astride the supply corridor. High Command intends to sever ahead of the coming advance. The garrison there is expecting reinforcements by rail. What do we... what? I'll flip a coin. I will flip the coin. 1,000 cereal. Heads for Iron Road and tails for the uncontested front. Flip a coin. Tails. Alright, skirmish it is. Good morning, Mr. Kitty. Chill mode. This is a replayable. There is no end, there is no object. Oh, wait, should I? So I'm at G3. Boom. Okay, I was going to just leave this mission, but I guess I'll stick it out. Reset each cars. HE, star, AP. Aha, high explosive. That's funny. Do I have a free use of that? I do. Alrighty, so the Iron Nest is at position G3, G3 9.2, 9-2. I'm right there. B1 8.6. Yeah, the mutant zombies are way more terrifying. Yes, they were. F2. No. The mutant Enderman is kind of insane. Bearing 41 degrees from spotter 1. All right. Forty 41 degrees from spotter 1 and 5.81 kilometers from spotter 2. So probably right there. Alright. How many rec points do I have? I have a free use of the airplane. I might as well use it here. So, let's see. We'll go with G1. We'll go with H1. Oh, it wasn't a free use. Oh, it was a free use. Was it? I don't know. Right. And this is Point Alpha. Okay. There's a few enemies near me. So, 161 degrees from Alpha. Spotter 3 down here. Spotter 3 is 73 degrees. So target should be right there. Should be right there, hopefully. What's that one? Supply cache. 116 degrees from Point Alpha. Oh. 116. From Spotter 1. 11.93. It should be right there. I'll check with a plane though. So M1. Yeah. Aha. There you are. I do want to check and see though first. This is that. Yeah, okay. That's still the same amount of distance. There we go. That is target 2 discovered. Target from target 2. Oh, I see. Okay. Alright. 083. Oh, 83. Right about there at 83. Alright, so target 3 should be right there. We shall find out. Shut the fuck up! You can't do that. You can't do that. That's not allowed. Righty. Let's go ahead and get turned to face this first. Actually. 3.17. 3.17. And let's see. We'll go with 2. .17 at 114 degrees. .3. So for target 1, we'll just use normal HE shells. HE. Alright, I can get rid of this one. Alright, target 2. You have quite a few enemies around you, so we will be using HC, HE, HC, HE. There we go. 6.81. Fucking surface cat. How the fuck does it help you play pool? Yeah, where it's like the insane, yeah, I've seen those before. I see. Right, I can clear that bearing off. 75. Alright, at 10.79. I'll subtract 10,000 by 10,000? 8? Stupid fucking calculator. Alright, and we'll bump that up to 3. Oh. Oops, let me... The boy... Do I have any ammo? I don't. I don't have any ammo. 2 for the HCC. Get those boys put in. The boys! What a predictable creature. What's in my... Let me pull this up so I can see what's in my left gun really quickly. I'm pretty sure it is the high impact shell, correct? Yes. So I need 40.86. So we'll go like right about there. And then 19. Right about there. Alright. 19.02. There's that. And 40.86. There's that. Alrighty. We need to rotate 114 degrees. Rotunde. Oh, shit. Why? Make sure the right gun is the correct one. Yes, it is. 19, where face? So it should be correct. All right, now we can go at 40 or 69.8. Where'd she go? 69.8, 40.86. Let's go see if I hit. I did hit. But it's not destroyed. Is it because I need to use AP? Yeah, okay. I need AP. Oops. One. Oopsie. I misread. I'm sorry, the bunker should not exist. Alright, so let me remove that check mark, because we need to redo this really quickly. So I didn't realize you needed AP. Which I guess is fine. I would have preferred to have taken it out, though. We'll hit him with that. Come on. Such a waste of a massive shell. 40.86 and 19. So I shouldn't have to change too much actually. 19.02, 69. Yep. Alright. 69.8. Yep. We can go ahead and fire this one. And then this one. You're 14.3. 19.02. Yep. Let's see. The fuck do you mean? Alright. Alright, honestly, you know what? This is just a free chill mode, so I think I should be able to run down here and save perchance, because, yeah, okay, cool. Alright, chat. Lost apartment. How the fuck do you lose your apartment? Alright, chat. I think we will call it here for now and pick up at another point. Bye-bye.